Right, the one I'm going to start with, first of many, Seth Rich. This is the official version. Murder of Seth Rich occurred on Sunday, July the 10th, 2016 at 4:20 a.m. in Bloomingdale neighbourhood of Washington, D.C. Rich died about an hour and a half after being shot twice in the back. He was murdered by unknown perpetrators for unknown reasons, but police suspect he had been the victim of an attempted robbery. Here are a few clips I found on it.
The murder mystery surrounding a Democratic National Committee staffer who was shot on a street in Washington, D.C. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is raising questions about the killing, offering a big reward for information, and that is fueling political conspiracy theories. ABC's Lindsay Janis is here with the story. Good morning, Lindsay.
Good morning, George. Police are still trying to solve the mysterious murder of DNC staffer Seth Rich. And now, in a bizarre twist, WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange is implying that Rich was the victim of a politically motivated assassination.
WikiLeaks and Fox went on to claim that Rich's computer showed more than 44,000 DNC emails and 17,000 attachments sent to somebody linked to WikiLeaks. Former Republican
go to significant efforts to get us material and often very significant risks. As a 27-year-old works for the DNC, who was shot in the back, murdered.
Although Assange would not say whether Rich was a WikiLeaks source, the organization is now offering a $20,000 reward.
But was he one of your sources then? I mean,
we don't comment on who our sources are.
Yeah, obviously Julian Assange ain't going to reveal his sources, but that's not rocket science. What's going on now? He's shot point blank in the back twice. The man ran off. He had about $1,000 worth of stuff on him, $1,000 worth of stuff in his pockets, and no one took none of it. But that attempted robbery motive is throughout a load of the Clinton body count murders. But the next one, Mary Mahoney, she was a White House intern through the Bill Clinton presidency. She was friends with Paula Jones. Paula Jones, at the time of Mary's murder, had a sexual harassment court case out on Bill Clinton. There was numerous people said that and give witness statements saying that Mary Mahoney was going to give evidence against Bill Clinton for Paula Jones. In the pre-trial review, 2 days before Mary's murder, it come on the news that someone close to Paula and Bill Clinton with the initial M was going to testify against Bill. And then this happened.
Victims, nor the day managers. 3 employees were killed by multiple gunshots. Night manager Katie Mahoney, age 24. 18-year-old Aaron David Goodrich. And Emery Allen Evans, age 25. The victims had apparently been caught in the middle of their cleanup routine sometime after closing at 8 p.m. Katie Mahoney, who sustained most of the gunfire, was apparently still holding her keys when she fell. To Metropolitan Police Detective James Trainham, the wanton violence seemed like an act of personal vengeance.
When I first learned of how the bodies were positioned and the number of shots that had been inflicted on Katie, one of the initial theories was it was a domestic, that she had had a fight with a boyfriend and ex-boyfriend. The other 2 were in the back room, giving them some privacy. She had gone to the back, followed by the boyfriend, and he exploded, shot her multiple times, and then shot them as they tried to come to her assistance.
Another botched robbery. Mary had the key to a safe in her hand, there was £10,000 in the safe. I think there was £2,000 on the side of the cafe. None of it was taken. There's points to this that I read on a website, FBI website. Point 1 being this: the store's doors had been locked from the outside, as if the night crew had locked them before leaving the night before, as they did every night. Apparently, assailants locked up behind after committing the murders. too. Nothing in the store was out of place. Though there was thousands of dollars in cash on hand, not one dime had been taken from the day's receipts. This fact would seem to rule out a robbery. Despite being located in a densely populated Georgetown neighbourhood, no one heard the shots. This fact suggests the assailants used a silencer, which would point out a professional hit. Definitely. While all 3 of the Starbucks employees had been shot, the former intern, Mary Mahoney, was shot 5 times, once in the back of the head, execution style. So there was reports she was going to go testify against Bill Clinton in a sexual harassment case. 2 days later, a gunman enters her workplace, shoots dead 2 of her colleagues, shoots her 5 times, once at close range in the back of the head, leaves the store without taking anything whatsoever, and it's put down as a robbery. Unbelievable. Next one, Kathy Ferguson. Kathy, she was close in the Clinton circle most of her life. She was the ex-wife of Danny Ferguson, who was Bill Clinton's co-defendant in the Paula Jones sexual harassment case. So she would have known everything, basically. She was very vocal about Bill Clinton, his sexual ways. She was rumoured by a lot of people to be ready to testify against Bill and her ex-husband. And a woman called Sherry Butler, 2 days after her death, wrote this affidavit. Sherry Butler, a Polinsky and Faulkner County's resident, made an affidavit December the 7th, 1994, to the effect that Ferguson, a friend of hers, had told her shortly before her death. Kathy Ferguson stated that what Paula Corbin Jones was saying about Bill Clinton was the truth, and quote, "I wouldn't put anything past Bill Clinton." So Kathy, the woman we're doing a story on now, had been saying that what Paula Jones was saying about Bill Clinton was the truth. So what she was saying in her sexual harassment case was the truth. And Kathy Ferguson was found murdered in her, she was found in her house on the floor, shot in the head. The gun was placed by the left hand, and she was right-handed. There was a bullet in the wall that was not from her gun, so someone else was in the house and shot a bullet into her wall, and that was never investigated. Her then partner at the time was Bill Sheldon, who was a police officer, and he was not happy about the ruling of suicide at all, and was campaigning that the police look into her murder. Her murder. He was saying she was murdered. He was saying she weren't suicidal at all. She was actually had her bags packed, and they was planning on going, getting away from all that and living their life together. And she was shot in the head, and they said it was suicide. He was saying it was not. It weren't suicide. Campaigning against it, police officer, and you got it. He was found murdered. He was found shot 2 weeks later, I think. No. Here it is. So Bill Shelton, Arkansas state trooper and fiancé of Kathy Ferguson, so he was a fiancé, not a boyfriend, critical of the suicide ruling of his fiancée. He was found dead in June 1994 of a gunshot wound, also ruled suicide, and placed at the grave site of his fiancée. Bill's gunshot wound was behind the ear, not consistent with suicide.